James Carpenter with Country Living. Welcome to my channel and thank you for watching my videos. It's November 10th. The weather is phenomenal. It's about 65 degrees today, and I wanted to finish up one more project while we still have this nice weather, and that is to put some sand in the garden and get it tilled in. What you're looking at there is horse manure. I put that in the garden about 3-4 weeks ago and tilled it in, and I've been wanting to put this sand in there to get the soil nice and loose so that next year when I grow the potatoes, they should turn out pretty daggone good along with the rest of the garden. So there's a lot of leaves, corn stalks and other stuff that's covered up by the sand, but that will compost down along with the horse manure. A little bit of luck, we'll have some very fertile soil come spring. There's one pile of this sand has already been spread. You can see it in the background. That's the second pile, and the truck should be arriving here soon with a third pile. What I'll do is take the Kubota tractor, use the bucket to spread that, and when I get done spreading the sand, I'll get the older Kubota tractor out and hook the tiller up and till all this sand in to the already manure slash soil that's already there. This is the guy that's delivering the sand. His name's John. He brought all 3 loads. Now there's actually 3 different types of sand, and I bought the cheapest one, not because I'm cheap, but I couldn't see spending 2 to 3 times as much for a ton to just till it into the dirt. They have what's called masonry sand, which is a little more expensive. I don't know if it's any better than this sand or not, but I'm going under the assumption that sand is sand. Maybe the masonry sand is a little bit finer, I don't know. Maybe somebody out there does know, and they could leave me some information in the comments. But obviously, I'm going to faster. Alright, so I've got the tractor out. Get my first bucket of sand here. I actually think I'm getting fairly decent with the bucket. I can get a pretty good scoop, as you'll see here. It's not only fills the bucket, but it's heaped up there a little bit. I honestly believe the more you can get in the bucket, the less trips you have to make. So we're going to go down here and we're going to feather the sand out. And once we get that feathered out, I'm going to use the bucket and back drag it to make it more consistent across the top of the soil. Right there, I'm kind of shaking the bucket to get the sand to start flowing out of the bucket. That's a little bit of an art too. You don't want too much to come out or not enough to come out. But just like anything else in life, the more times over you get a little bit better at what you're doing. I'm putting the bucket in float mode here and just kind of dragging that sand back. In an effort not to bore you too much, I'm going to speed this up here in a minute, just to allow you to see the whole process, but see it at a faster speed so you don't get bored. I know my youngest son, when he critiques my videos, he'll say boring, and actually that's a matter of opinion. What's boring to him may not be boring to somebody else, but if it is boring, you can skip through the video a little bit. But I did take the time to speed it up to reduce the amount of time you have to watch me be repetitive. There we go. Now we're moving. Now if we could only work at that speed in real life, we could really get a lot done. You can see the little stripes in the sand. That piranha tooth bar, if you don't have one for your bucket, I would highly recommend you get one. It's a really nice add-on for your bucket. And this is not a sponsored video. I'm by far not at a YouTube level where I'm sponsoring anything right now. I talked about this in one of my other videos before. I just started gardening again. This was the first year, and in the past I've had some really nice gardens. I've done similar to what I'm doing with this garden. I added different types of compost and sand and just about anything I get my hands on to make the soil rich. And I've been known to grow some really nice crops out of my gardens. I had to give gardening up because it was difficult to do a garden and mow all the grass and do all the weed eating and yard work. So I couldn't give both of them my fullest attention. So I gave up gardening for a lot of years. And when the economy kind of took a downturn, I decided it's probably not a bad idea to garden again. Excuse me, just in case there would be, food shortages or anything like that. And I actually enjoy gardening, to be honest with you. So I got a good page. I'm looking at the weather on my monitor, and it's still maintaining 56 degrees out there for November 10th. That's pretty good, but I really believe that we've got rain coming tomorrow, and it's going to start turning colder. So I'm 99.9% sure that all the Indian summers are used up at this point. But you never know. They always say in Ohio, if you wait 5 minutes, the weather will change. it's pretty close to the middle of November, so if you're going to plant grass seed, if you're going to overseed for the following year, this is about the right time to start doing that. I'm not an expert, but a friend of mine is, and he keeps me pretty well informed with different chemicals to use on the yard, and grass seed and germination and that kind of stuff. So he's been a great help with that type of knowledge. That grass you see over there on the right hand side of the tractor, that's all new this year. That's Kentucky bluegrass. And I've got a lot of grass that just kind of grew on its own over the years, over the 40-some years I've been mowing this place. And I've got quite a bit of Kentucky bluegrass left over because I thought I was going to reseed the entire property, but I changed my mind. But I do think I'm going to take that seed and overseed some of that established grass and see if I can get some Kentucky to blue to start coming up in that fescue. That straw you see back there was given to me a few weeks ago. I'll let that set there till spring. I'm going to use it in the garden come spring after the plants are up a little bit. And I've got a little 6.5 horse tiller I use to go down between the rows. I am definitely an organic gardener. I don't use any kind of chemicals in my garden whatsoever. Looks like we got that last pile pretty well whittled down. I'm not sure how many inches deep that is, but I'm going to say on an average about 3 inches deep. I believe it's going to be enough, but if it's not, I can add more next year. Once I get the soil completely the way I want it to be, I'm going to do the Back to Eden thing, and I'm going to put the mulch down. And obviously with that being the case, I'm not going to be able to till every year. I'm just going to be able to plant the rows and then push the mulch up around the plants as they start to grow. So that's my goal. Probably not going to happen next year, but maybe the following year. I just want to make sure I get this soil rich enough that I can put that mulch down and not be concerned about the soil not being plentiful. Okay, there's the two tractors, the old guy and the young kid. Both Kubotas. I know everybody's got their preference on tractors, but I swear by the Kubota. The tiller came from Rural King. Actually, I think I bought that at the perfect time. They went up about $500 when this inflation thing hit. I tried to buy quite a few implements before everything went sky high. So as you can see now, we're tilling the sand into the soil. That first pass doesn't look like it's doing a whole lot, but I probably made about 4 passes total on the entire garden. And here in a little bit you'll see what it looked like when I was finished. I just sped it up so that we can get through the tilling part of this a little bit quicker. When I get off that older Kubota tractor and I get on the newer one, it's like going from an economy car to a luxury car. It's unbelievable how much difference there is in the ride, and neither one of them has suspension, so I really don't know how that could be. But the newer one just seems to have a better feel to it. But I like this old tractor. I've had it for a lot of years. It's given me a lot of service. It just didn't have a bucket on it. And I needed a bucket, and I thought, why not? Let's get a Kubota with a bucket. So basically, the Kubota with the bucket is basically used for anything that requires a bucket. And the older Kubota still does a lot of the pull behind attachments. I did buy a snow pusher. I'll try it out for the first time this year. Now on the right hand side there, I'm going to seed that little portion there and get the grass growing right up to the edge of the garden. As you can see by those lines, that's the marks that the tiller left. I was able to make the garden a perfect rectangle so that it's not, you know, narrower at one end than the other. So that's going to be nice next year. The garden will be nice and be a nice rectangle. Well, that's pretty much what it looked like when I got finished. It looked pretty good. Now I'm going to do something a little different. Obviously, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I get a couple loads of mulch a week. And I've found that there's 2 ways to do it. I can go in there with the tiller and knock all them humps down and do it from the comfort of a tractor, or I can get the rake out there and spend several hours raking those humps down. Now, even with the tiller, you still have to go in there and kind of finesse, but it saves a lot of work. Dusty little job. Even tilling that sand had quite a bit of dust in it. I don't know if anybody's ever seen someone till mulch before, but you've seen it now. As I edit this video, I'm seeing a lot of black screens. I sure hope that those aren't in the final video. I'm not sure what's causing that. It seems like every time it switches from one shot to another, the screen goes dark on my end for a few minutes. It's amazing how I can sit here at my desk right now, edit this video, and when I look at that dust, I can smell it. It's crazy. Actually, the tiller works just as good in reverse as it does forward when tilling mulch. And there we are going backwards. I'm not positive, but I almost think it works better when you go backwards. I'm holding a camera, and when you're holding a camera, it's like right there. I should be lifting that tiller up, but I've got one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the camera, so at some point I think I had to put the camera away so I could get this thing finished up. Alright, there's the finished product. All tilled up. Like I say, it still needs raked out to be perfectly level, but that sure saved a lot of raking. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the backpack blower. We're going to blow the dust off the tractor, blow the dust off the tiller, and then put the tiller away for winter. I just don't want to put it away dirty and have that stuff decay and ruin the paint and all kinds of stuff. So the video is about to come to a close. I want to thank you for taking time to watch my video. If you like, go to my channel. There's plenty more videos there. James Carpenter, Country Living.